Hello and welcome back to the show. I am kicking off today's episode with a huge announcement. Behind the Post has gone weekly, so kiss those Sunday scaries goodbye. Every Monday, you can expect a new episode of Behind the Post to fuel your inspiration for the week. So make sure you are subscribed wherever you listen to your podcasts on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen. Make sure you are subscribed so you never miss an episode. Today, I'm really excited because I am back with a solo episode, and we are going to be chatting all about building your employer brand on social. I was really lucky when I started here at Oktopost back in August because I joined a company with amazing work culture, and it was very easy to showcase that and build our employer brand up and showcase it all on social. So today I thought that I would share my own experience so that you can leave this episode with takeaways that you can apply right away. So we're going to walk through a few things. First, what is employer branding? Why should you care? How should social media managers go about this? Next, I'm going to share some tips for building your employer brand on social. And then I'm going to give actual real examples of campaigns and initiatives that I've started here and continued at Oktopost. So what is employer branding? In simplest terms, employer branding is your reputation as an employer. So this is the story that your employees are already telling. It's not the story that you want to tell. So it's really how you are perceived by potential employees. And having a strong employer brand is not only important to save money on recruiting costs, but also to find the best candidates for the positions that your company is hiring for. And as social media managers, showcasing your employer's brand on social is most likely something that you're already doing. And nearly 90% of HR professionals agree that recruiting is starting to look more like marketing. And when you think about it, it is really similar to marketing in the sense that instead of getting leads to buy your products, you are trying to get talent interested in working for you instead of your competitors. And as we know, B2B buyers like to do research on their own time, and prospective employees do the same. I'm sure everyone listening to this podcast episode now has looked up a company on social before deciding to join. And it's true, 68% of millennials visit an employer's social media before joining a company. So employer branding is extremely important. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get into it. Here are some tips for building your employer brand on social. So I want to note two things right away. A strong employer brand requires at least two things. First, you need to have a positive work culture that your employees truly appreciate. This isn't really something that you as a social media manager can control. This is something that has to already be set in place, that comes from the top down. That positive work culture already needs to be there. And next, you will need to find a way to communicate those values and experiences to candidates and job seekers so that they can associate them with your business. So, how do we do that? How do we communicate our company culture and build up our employer brand? The first thing that I would say is find a way to differentiate yourself and then create content around that. So ask yourself, why would someone work for our company and not our competitor? And we're not talking things like ping pong tables, free donuts, free snacks. Those things are not what is going to make you join one company versus another. Think about the important factors like competitive pay, remote work, unlimited PTO, health insurance, mental health support, fun little perks here and there. Those important factors would make you consider one role at a company over another. Another thing that makes your company different than another company is the people behind your brand. So this is a great time to highlight the people that make up your company, make your company so great. So think to yourself, how are you guys celebrating your people? Do you have events? Do you have celebrations just for employees? Do you have little holiday parties? Do you have company outings, fun trips, opportunities to travel? Opportunities for travel might be really important for one candidate, and that could make them choose your company over another company. So think of things that make your company truly unique, truly different, and showcase those. And I'm going to get into a few examples later on, but just keep that in mind. And within the content that you are creating, just remember you are trying to give candidates an idea into what it's actually like to work at your company. So make sure you are doing everything as authentically as you can. Another way to do this is to initiate an employee advocacy program. So, employee advocacy is really great for long term employer branding. And if you are not aware what employee advocacy is, it is just your employees advocating for your brand. And with employer branding, you can really get your employees to promote the brand and improve your customer facing image. So we all know that content coming from a person is much more authentic than content coming from a brand. So this right away is going to be a great way to build up your employer brand. And if you want your message to reach farther than just your corporate following, you'll need to find a channel that gets more unique eyes on your content. That's why employee advocacy is perfect. Your employees have at least 10 times more reach than your corporate page. So definitely utilize them. And when you're thinking about the content that goes into an employee advocacy program, in order to keep a healthy program, your content has to be diverse. So when it comes to employer brand and tying that type of content in, your employees are not only going to be sharing content around your brand and your industry, but also the company culture and their experiences. So, for example, you could create content that gives viewers a positive impression of your brand and then assign brand ambassadors to personalize the version of that content and then share it with their own audience. So there is ways that your employees can share their own experiences around the company, but also using employee advocacy to do it. Now for the fun part, I want to dive into some of the employer brand content that I've created for both our employee advocacy and corporate channels. So grab a pen and a paper, get ready to take notes because these are all ideas that you can easily replicate and experiment with. So let's get into it. So when it comes to building your employer brand on social, I think there are two really important things here. Number one is highlighting the people behind your brand. And then second is showing the experiences from your employees' point of view to what it's actually like working at your company. So I first want to start with a few different ways that I have highlighted the people behind Oktopost. So these are some really great ideas, again, that you can kind of take away and replicate. And I really want to note that employer branding doesn't always have to be groundbreaking or cutting edge. It's really important that you're just demonstrating that you value the members of your team. And that ultimately will leave a positive impression on job seekers and people who might be considering a position at your brand. So I think it's all about being authentic and just showing that you truly value the members of your team. So there's a few ways that I have done this at Oktopost. Some of these are content ideas that have been set in place and I have picked them up when I started at Oktopost, but I'm just going to go over a few of them to give you a few ideas. So the first thing is new employee welcomes. We like to call them Oktoposter welcomes here. And every time a new team member joins, we showcase them on social. So this is a really great way to introduce your team members to the community, especially if they're in a customer-facing role. And again, this is just another great way to help build up your brand's reputation. They're seeing the people behind your brand. They feel like they know you as a brand and as an employer. So that's just one great way. So every time a new Octoposter joins our team, I will give them a warm welcome on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. and those posts always get a lot of engagement. I will say that our company culture campaign is consistently our top performing campaign, again, because people buy from people. So when you can see the actual faces behind a brand, it just usually gets more engagement. So it's always really encouraging to see people that have worked with our new team member in the past commenting, wishing them good luck. Everyone from the Oktopost community welcoming them. So this is just a great way to kind of showcase your new employees coming in. And similar to that, we also celebrate work anniversaries here at Oktopost, and we like to call them Octoversaries. So this is another way to show your appreciation for all of the hard work and dedication that your employees give day in and day out. If your HR department has a tradition for celebrating these milestones, that is definitely a great piece of content to put on social and create awareness around. Our tradition here at Oktopost is to have cupcakes with your face on them. And this is such a fun tradition, but also makes for great social content as well. So when we do have work anniversaries, I also share them on social and give that team member a shout out. So this is also just a fun way to show our appreciation for our employees, but also share a little fun tradition that we do for every work anniversary. The next idea is actually something that I started when I came to Oktopost. And I think that as a B2B brand, it is so important to showcase the people behind your brand because, again, yes, we are B2B, but we are actually human to human. It's all human to human at the end of the day. So I thought it would be a great idea to do employee spotlights. So this is also a great way for future employees to get an idea of who they might be working with. So what you share within your employee spotlight posts can be unique to your own company, but I thought I would share what I do for ours so that you can kind of get some inspiration here. So the first thing I ask for is a picture. And I ask for a picture that is not professional per se, so that it kind of showcases their personality a little bit or some of the things that they like to do outside of work, like a hobby or an interest or something like that. So I always include a picture. So again, that you can see our employees and start to build a connection with us. And then I will send a set of questions for them to answer, and I will include that in our posts. So I ask, what do you do at Oktopost? Not just your job description, but what do you actually do day to day? So this is a simple way to just switch it from, oh, I'm a customer success manager to this is what I actually do every single day. I'm helping our customers onboard. I'm helping with this, this, and this. So it's one little shift in the question to already deepen that a little bit more. So I always ask that question. I ask them to share how long they've been with the company. I also asked them to share one thing that we couldn't find out about them on social media. So this is a little tie-in. If you listen to the Radically Transparent podcast, you know that this is a question that Jen asks over there. So I thought it would be fun to include it in our employee spotlights. And then the last thing I include is I ask them to share their favorite food. So that is what I include in my employee spotlights. And then I wrap it all up, make it pretty in a post, and then share it out. It's just a great way to deepen that connection with your community. Another thing that you can do are highlight team events and celebrations that you may have going on. So share photos from team outings, team lunches, holiday parties, in-person meetups. We have offices spread around the globe, and we also have a lot of remote workers. So every time that we have in-person meetups, we always like to share those moments on social because they are really special moments for us, since we do not get to see each other in person that often, depending on which office you work at. So we always showcase those kind of meetups and events. Also at Oktopost, we have a fun perk called a My Day. So every Oktoposter gets one Friday off a month. And over on our Instagram, we like to share what some of our Oktoposters are getting up to on their day off. So this is a fun way of sharing a perk that our company offers for candidates, but it's also a great way to share the experience that our employees are actually having with that perk. So it's really important not only to tell what you're doing, but also share experiences from your employees. And if you have a really good flexible or unlimited PTO perk, a fun way of sharing this could be if you have a team mascot, you can show your team mascot Ours is Little Octi. You can show them traveling with your employees on their time off. We have a lot of pictures of this over on our Instagram of Little Octi traveling with our employees when they are taking their well-deserved time off. So this is also a great way to showcase that your brand truly cares about your employees' mental health and taking time off to rest and recharge, but also making it fun and tying it back to your brand by using your team mascot. So that is another idea to show the team mascot on the beach or traveling or exploring or something like that. Okay, moving on to part 2 here. The next thing that is really important for your employer brand is showcasing what it's like to work at your company. So this is the experiences from your employees' point of view, because it is one thing for your corporate pages to say, oh, we have this, we do this, our employees love this, but it is, again, so much more meaningful when it comes from your actual employees' point of view. So one simple way to do this is to ask for quotes from your employees and ask them to share what their experience has been like working at the company. And you can use these on your corporate social account. You can also repurpose them and use them for your advocacy board. We actually had a blog post go live called 5 Things You Should Know Before Working at Oktopost. This post highlighted and went through the perks that come with working at Oktopost, but then also included several quotes from our employees highlighting their experience. And then from there, I also created social posts for our employee advocacy board so that our employees could share that out and add their own perspective on there. So it was that much more meaningful because it went through our perks, it went through our experiences, and then our employees actually shared out the post. And then it had a link to our careers page. So that is one idea right there. You don't have to have a blog post attached to these posts. You can share out quotes without having a blog post attached to them, but that is just one idea for you. Another fun thing that I did was a Twitter challenge. And this is something that was very simple to do. It didn't take too much time. It wasn't a huge ask on your employees because, again, you do want to be mindful. You don't want to take too much time away and you don't want to distract them from your employees' daily duties. But this was one thing that was really fun and, again, wasn't a big ask. So this initiative was a little mix of company culture and recruitment. So I tweeted out, I'm going to share the exact tweet that I shared from the Oktopost account. I said, calling all our amazing Oktoposters, we're hiring and growing like never before. So let's show everyone what Oktopost is all about. Reply to this tweet and in one word, tell us what it feels like to be an Oktoposter. So I got a lot of responses like valued, blessed, collaborative, empowered, motivated, heard, supported. So I really love this initiative because first, this is all public. Everyone can see how our employees feel working at our company. They tweeted back and answered us. So it's all public. They can see it. But this content was super easy to repurpose. So I took the tweets and created graphics, and then I used them on our corporate LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and then I also shared them on our employee advocacy board with links to our career page so that our employees also had the chance to share out this message and share what it feels like to work at Oktopost to encourage more people to come join us. So this was an amazing initiative. We got a lot of engagement from these posts, and it's, again, just a great way to flip the switch and share the experience from your employees' point of view. So the last little idea I'm going to leave you here with is day in the life content. So we've had some great engagement showcasing what a day in the life looks like at Oktopost over on our Instagram. We've done a few day in the life takeovers where an employee will take over our Instagram for the day and showcase everything they are doing and give a little behind the scenes look. What are their day-to-day tasks and what are they doing throughout the day? And this is also a great way to showcase that company culture aspect. If you work for a company that's super flexible and you get to create your own hours, this is a great way to showcase how you are switching up your day or keeping it interesting, staying focused. So we have done that on Instagram. And then this is also something that I'm currently working on right now. I am working on a day in the life video series from each department's point of view. So what does a typical day look like in customer success or sales? And everyone knows videos are super hot right now. So I'm excited to experiment with this idea, but I think day in the life content is really spot on when it comes to employer branding. Because just think, if you were about to join a company and you could go online and watch a video of someone on your team showcasing what their day looks like, showcasing the company culture a little bit, that would be so helpful in determining which position you are going to move forward with. So I think day in the life content is spot on. So those are my tips and ideas for my fellow social media managers out there for showcasing their employer brand on social. There is definitely more to the story here, but I wanted to be transparent about a few of the initiatives that I do here at Oktopost. So just keep in mind that focusing on what makes your current employees happy and what makes working for your company attractive, and then also investing in a great employee advocacy tool to help your employees share more content. Doing all these things so you can really create a brand that will attract the best candidates for every position. If you would like to talk more about employer branding and more about social ideas, feel free to reach out to me on social. I'm always happy to chat, or you can email me at olivia@oktopost.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode.